Hello and welcome to this baby sweater vlog. Right now I'm trying out the name Starry Canoe, which is a reference to my last name. Before it was Starry Vlogs. So thank you for tuning in and following along, and let's get started. Hello, it's 8:30 on Monday and I want to see how far I can get knitting this baby sweater today. I want to clock like how many hours I work on it, and I want to see like how long it takes me to make. All I've done so far is cast on, and I had this idea just randomly last night. The best ideas happen at night, so we'll see how long it takes me to make this baby sweater, and I want to put her name on it at the end. I finished the ribbing and it reminded me how much I love doing knitting in the round for the sweater versus like knitting the pieces and sewing them together. This is so much better. And I also, now I've switched up to the next needle size, which is now that I'm done with the ribbing. Here is where I'm at the hour-and-a-half mark. Yeah. So I'm using this to mark how many rows I did since it's removable, or how many like couplets, because it says like repeat every 2 rows. So we'll check back in probably at the 3-hour mark. I have been knitting for a total of 2 hours and 40 minutes straight. This is where I'm at. I have done 6 couplets of rows, so I'm almost halfway because the pattern says to do 12. I'm going to be taking a food break, and I also wanted to say that this has been so nice. Like, I've never found knitting a sweater so easy before. I say that even though I haven't done the rest, but baby sweaters after you've made big sweaters are so easy, especially knitting one. I would say that so far knitting one has been easier than crocheting one, because I crocheted a yellow one prior to this. Oh, and also right now I'm knitting herringbow baby alpaca scarf, herringbone stitch. I'm trying to teach myself the herringbone stitch, and a scarf is the easiest way to kind of teach yourself a new stitch. So going back to stockinette is so nice. Like, it is a lot less thought, especially because I'm learning the other one. We are back from our cereal break. It is 11:40 and I'm getting started again by switching out the interchangeable wires. I know I made switching the wires so much more difficult than it needed to be, but like I literally could not think of a more efficient way. So I put the project whose wire I was stealing onto the same wire as the project that I was trying to slip off. Then I don't know, I did something complicated. It was like, what did I do? I think I squished it all onto the needle and then took the needle and put it onto the new thing. No. Okay, that's what I did. I put one needle on the new thing, on the new line with like a stopper at the end, and they each, so it was like two wires, 2 needles, 2 stoppers, and then I slowly transitioned it one by one. That's what I did. But anyways, it's 1, so that means I got an extra hour and 20 minutes. I'm almost done with the yoke. I think I have like 9 done, and so I need 12. I will say, after I came back from the cereal break, I pretty much was just watching YouTube while I was knitting, so that's probably why it doesn't look like as much progress was made, but that was an hour and 20 minutes. And that puts me at a total of 4 hours so far. It is 2, so I'm going to get started again. Basically, the reason why I stopped the last time was all because this never happens, but just like sitting here and knitting and all stuff, I thought of the perfect Christmas gift for everyone, like literally everyone, both families. I was like, gotta write this down. So I took some time calculating prices and writing it down and creating a Christmas budget. We're nowhere near Christmas. It is August, beginning of August, but it just all came to me, so I wanted to make sure that I could remember for later. But yeah, now I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna finish the yoke and hopefully I get more into the sweater part. It is 3 now, and I finished the ribbing, or sorry, not the ribbing. I finished the increases, and so now I just have to knit it until the part after the ribbing meets 4.5 inches. This is how it looks. It is 3:20. I just took a snack break. I had some toast with some vegetable cream cheese, and now it's time to get that yoke to 4.5 inches. And I also got a ruler downstairs. Boop. Let's see where it's at. So it is at 3.5 inches about, and it looks like an inch is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 rows. So I'm gonna knit 7 and measure again. It is 4, and I made it to the 4.5 inch mark. It did not take 7 rounds. It looks like it took 4 rounds. It's 4:18. And I just realized I'm gonna have to frog the whole sweater. I don't know how I didn't see this before, but I only increased for 1 sleeve and not 2. See how this one has a sleeve that you can tie off, increases right there, increases on the back. So then you come over to this side, okay, right there. And then I think I was supposed to increase at the beginning of stitch round, and I just never did. So it just has this one set of increases. Oh my gosh. Well, that's crazy. So that means that I just worked on it for 6 hours and 20 minutes. And I'm gonna have to frog it and restart. But it's so cute looking. It was going so good. Like the stitching was going so good. .30 and I'm starting again from the collar. It is 5:35 and now it's all back on track. I'm gonna go make dinner now and then I'll return and we'll see how far I can get. Possibly me. Watching Big Brother at 6:45 and starting again. The yarn made a heart because I'm putting all my love into this. It is exactly 11 p.m. I have been crocheting. No, I'm not even crocheting. I have been knitting straight since I came back. Whoa, my hand looks weird. What the heck? Knitting hands. I have been knitting straight since I came back from lunch or dinner, sorry. And I'm finally caught up. No, I'm not 100% caught up. I finished the increases and now I'm gonna do the make sure that it's 4.5 inches, and then after that I'll be caught up to where I was before. I had to reset to the hem. This is what it's looking like. The interchangeable cord that it's on is a little bit too short for this project, but I didn't have any open 24-inch one, so we're using a 20-inch one, a 20-inch cord. But we're about to take off the sleeves, so it should be fine. I don't know what changed, but this time when I finish the increases, it's already at 4 inches, so I think I'll only have to do probably about maybe 2 or 3 rounds, and then I'll get to separate the sleeves again. That's awesome. The most satisfying part was counting all the stitches, and they all lined up with the pattern, except for one, but I'm gonna fix that. It only took 2 rounds, but I hit the 4.5 mark. Also, if you like my nail polish, I went to GalaxyCon with my husband, and they had a nail polish based on my favorite book, or my favorite book series, Once Upon a Broken Heart, and this is called Never Fall in Love with a Fate. It's 11:45. I divided the sleeves. Now I'm gonna knit 6.5 inches. We'll see how far I get tonight. Typically on Mondays I go to bed pretty late, so I should be able to get a lot done. It is 12:30 and this is where I'm stopping for the night. All I had to do is knit 6.5 inches and then do the ribbing and sleeves and sleeve ribbing. making chai tea in a pitcher, so that way I can have chai tea, iced chai whenever I want, and just add milk, because I don't really have an ice machine in here. I'm so excited for my chai latte. Yay. I just finished meal prepping and tidying up downstairs, and so now it is 11:10 and I'm going to start knitting. If you remember, we just have to do 6.5 inches from underneath the arm sleeve. I'm only at an inch. I measured last night, so let's hope that I can get a lot more done. So my last update was at 12:30 or 11:30. Either way, I knit for an hour. Then after that, I called with my sister and we played some free rice. And now I'm back to knitting. It is 1:30, and yeah, let's see how far I get. Even though the pattern said to go to 6.5 inches, I'm stopping at 6 inches because I think it was getting a little bit long. But here's where I'm at before I do the ribbing. It is 6 p.m. and I just finished binding off the main part of the sweater, and next is sleeves and ribbing. That took me longer than I thought it would because I had to learn a new bind off technique because I lost my darning needle and I still can't find it. So weaving in these ends will be interesting. Hopefully I can find it before then. It's 7 o'clock, so that's probably where I'm stopping for the night. I'm gonna go make some dinner. And this is how far I got. I just did my decreasing round, and so now I'm gonna knit 5 more rounds, decrease again, knit 5 more rounds, and then I think it's ribbing. So, yay, getting close for that sleeve and then the other one. It is 8:30 and I'm gonna start working on the sleeves again. It is 9:20. I am done with knitting for right now. I have to get the underarm to 4 to 5, and right now it is at 4.5. So this morning I am going through my stash and I'm putting it all in one of these. You know, like things you normally put the mattress in. I put the Hobby Lobby patterns like in the pocket where you put like the label, and then the rest of it is yarn. But I wanted to show you how pretty this yarn skein is. It's a hand-dyed merino wool. I have no idea what weight it is. I was trying to find out. Maybe I could check the receipt, but look at how pretty it is. Like, I thought it was kind of like all purple, but because it's hand-dyed, it has like a beautiful, like nice blue hue coming through. I'll show you. Like, look at how pretty that is. It came like this, and I don't have one of those yarn winders, so I'm hand winding. I wanted to move all of my yarn from these buckets, or baskets, from these baskets that I had put them in originally, and because I wanted to use them on the top of my closet because I think it makes the closet look a lot more organized. And also the issue with them was that they were solid gray, so I couldn't see through them to see what yarn I had in them. And then I realized that I had a bunch of these that were empty, and that these would be perfect for storing yarn because you can see all the yarn. It's like the plastic covering that holds the bedding. See, these are the things I'm putting at the top of the closet that used to hold my yarn because I think it makes it look more organized. So the receipt didn't say anything about the yarn, honestly. I know that it is merino wool, and I think it's kind of a similar weight to this one. No, that one's smaller than this one, I think it's whatever 1 under DK is. Here, I have some DK wool. I have some DK weight yarn, a pack of yarn right here. So I'm just gonna compare. So visually it looks like it could be DK weight, but as you can tell, the purple one is a tiny bit smaller, so I think it's whatever 1 underneath DK weight is. I think it's either baby, sport, sock, or fingering weight wool. I know that some of those are even farther down the line. I'm gonna be honest, just based on the skein size, I'm gonna guess sock. I don't know though. Your guess is as good as mine. Hey, look at how pretty this one is. It's like very oceany. Originally I wanted to use this for flowers, but I think I might try something else with it, because look at how pretty this is. So yesterday I think I mentioned that my chai was a little bit watery, and that was just because I had made it that day, so I needed ice to cool it down. But this is the perfect chai. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. Oh, it tastes so good. I knit from 5 p.m. when my husband got home all the way to about 7:30, so about 2.5 hours. It is 8:20. I'm gonna start knitting again. I just had to get 5 inches on this before I start the ribbing, I think. And so yeah, and we're almost there, so hey. Yay! So I finished the sleeve, the first sleeve, so now I'm gonna start working on the second sleeve. We are watching the semi-finale of Destination X. It is intense. We love this show. 1, 2, 3. It's 10:20. I got super into the show, so I didn't get too far. And also I got confused at one point, like because it turns out I put my stitch markers in the wrong place. But now we're back on track, and I did my first decrease of 3. So now I had to knit 5 rounds even, decrease, knit 5 rounds even, decrease, knit 5 rounds even, or until it reaches 5 inches, and then do the ribbing, and then I'll be done. So I'm gonna try to finish this tonight, and then hopefully tomorrow, or maybe even tonight if I have time, I'm gonna put her name on it. Also, we just finished the finale of Destination X, and I felt like the winner was so deserving. That was a good show, good ending. It's 1 a.m. so I'm gonna weave in ends, and if I feel energy, I'm gonna try to embroider the name. Or not embroider, crochet. Really happy that this sleeve is lined up. And also, I didn't even use a full ball yarn. It is 1:35 a.m. and I finished weaving in the ends. Look how stretchy that bind off is. That will be it for tonight, and I decided to put her name on it tomorrow. It is 6:40 a.m. and I'm gonna try to learn how to embroider the name onto it, and here's where we left off from last time. So I read it out like this and then realized that the D is so much bigger than the L, so I tried to make it a little bit more consistent. There's a lot more like extra lines here because I wanted the E's to kind of look more E-ish, but this is how I'm gonna do it, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So I folded the name in half, and now I folded the sweater in half, and I'm going to stick this in there to see what center is. So it looks like this is about center, so I'm going to put a stitch marker and kind of go from there. Okay, so I marked out with the stitch markers like a border of where her name is going to go, with the middle right there. And I tried to make sure that these were on the same row just by looking over at the next stitch. So I just put a marker for where I want the top of the A to go. I've been using stitch markers to mark like, this is where the highest point is going to be, and this is like the farthest it can go out. It is 11 a.m. and I finally finished embroidering the name. Not actually 100%, I still have to do the heart over the I, and I still have to weave in ends. But I wanted to show you how it looks so far. And I also went back and I redid the beginning of the A. It's just I was really trying to be as even as possible so it wasn't slanted. So I had to keep like going to the previous and seeing like how low it went. So I'll show you how it looks right now. And I don't know if I remember saying this, but I ended up switching to a crochet hook to crochet in the letters. I really like that it's in my handwriting, like that's just how I would write it. So it's kind of cute that it's like in my handwriting for her. Here it is after putting a little heart on it. I feel like it needs like another layer over it to make it more of a solid color. I didn't have any chunky white yarn, and so I just do with what my budget allows, you know? Like I feel like these parts look like really solid white, and that looks really nice. But I don't know, I also feel like it looks better in person than on the phone. Also, in case anyone's wondering, before I weave in ends, that's what it looks like. Focus. This is how it looks like after weaving in ends. The heart is the only one that I knotted. Everything else I just weaved in, like how you typically weave in ribbing. It is 11:50, and this is the final result after weaving in ends and fixing up a hole that I saw in the armpit. So obviously stuffed animals are not baby size, but I wanted to try it on a stuffed animal just to see how it would look. Obviously it looks kind of weird just because, again, not baby sized, but I think it looks really cute, so I'm going to show you. Overall, with mess ups and embroidery, it took me about 46.5 hours. I'll put a more detailed time breakdown right here. I hope that's helpful for you when planning your own projects. My heart and soul went into this sweater. I think it turned out pretty good for my skill level, and I really hope that she loves it. Thank you for following along with me. I hope you like how the sweater turned out. I'm super excited to give it to her one day. I found this pattern on Ravelry for free. It was called Knit Top Down Raglan Baby Pullover, and is by Bernat, I don't know, Bernat, the one who makes the yarn, I think. So yeah, I'll link it down below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.